Good morning. That music going. And good morning. Good morning. So we're going to do some planning first. Let's create a file for this. We'll call it to do. All right. What are the goals? Um, security, login permissions. Let's see, how do we do this? Do we just put a space in front of it? Huh. My markdown is rusty. Oh, what do we need here? For logging in, we need to be able to do what? So for logging in, we need to be able to render a template. Can we even do that? Okay, yeah, that works. Okay. We don't get a little checkbox here. That's all right. We know what it is. So logging in requires, I don't know. Template rendering. It also requires accepting, let's see here, host routing. What else? Let's make sure we have those. Now, I think we've got these already finished. Post, get, delete. What else? I'm not going to put option in here because we don't technically need that. And this is done. Yes. Oh, look, we got little checkboxes there. If we put a space there. Oh, yeah, it doesn't have a checkbox. Oh, lovely. Okay. Async. All right, now we also need template rendering. So this requires fetching. Of get. We also have get with options. All of these are done. Although we've changed them a bunch, I think we can consider those done. Now, I think this template generation, we are going to say that this template generation will be done via by hand. Well, by hand. We're just going to have one big page for this, I think. I've been thinking about this. We do not have this done. What do we want to call them? Concatenation, build, concatenation. Say that this is part of the build. Is it concatenation or ination? C-A-T in E-N-A-T. Okay. All right. I think our next thing to do is going to be template generation. Take the template from the Kiwi, pass it through the HTML rewriter. And our goal is to basically build login with that. Okay. So what can we do for this piece here? It seems to be our next little bit to tackle. What is this? Templates. Oh, yes. No, I think I'm going to get rid of that. Hey, it's Nildev. How you doing? Good morning. I'm doing well. Doing well, thank you. I'm actually going to add that. Not going to do that. Oh, actually, I do want that. Oh, but not in templates old. Yeah, Get UI. It's a fantastic little tool. Use Magic. Yeah, that's a good one too. I've tried to use Magic before. I've used this one. I tend to like this one a little bit better. I miss some kind of key bindings in here. Actually, maybe I just don't know them. What's the project about? Great question. We're currently working on Mimeograph. You don't like to quit out of your editor for that? Oh, I don't mind. I mean, it's just, for me, it's a control Z away, right? Like I'm in my editor, I'm out of my editor. It's actually faster than typing colon, fugitive or get status. G stats. There. Hey, Berduda. What's going on? Or Bear, hold on. What happened here? Bear CTY 360. Mortal Kombat was originally a Scandinavian song. Oh, no way. What? How does that happen? Well, thank you for the resub. How are you doing? Long time, man. Long time. So we have template generation. Yeah, let's work on that a little bit. I totally missed a punchline. Oh, it was a finish him. Oh. Hmm. All right, that one's going in the archives here. That's a good one. Where is it? Now I have to figure out what song actually have you associated with. Skip the current song. We can do that. 8 songs? One, two. Wait, no, it's this one. I don't know. We're on this yacht rock station. I was just trying other ones out. I was gonna go from bottom up. Yacht rock, then world, then upbeat dance. Let's see what we got. I mean, music seems to be so divisive amongst people. Okay. Oh my goodness! In my joke file, you're actually called bare knuckle waffle. All right. It's like changing license plates on a car all the time. It's like we'll never recognize you. Where am I from? North America, from the States. I actually grew up in Southern California. Generation concatenation. Okay, so let's do something here. Oh, that's right. We're gonna do a get status here. Get add to do. Oh, that's already in there. Why are we deleting that? It looks like that's like sorry. I don't want to delete that. Oh, actually, do they have an option to restore this? I can reset the item. Confirm file reset? Sure, why not? Because I just really want this file. I don't want any of the others. Let's clean that up real quick. Content config sass. We don't need any sass around here. We're sassy enough. There we go. What? Another guy trying to organize their file in Vim? What? One at org? You mean Emacs? Because Vim doesn't have a good org mode? And I really don't have to spend much time going through it. So, I mean, it's really a lightweight task. I think people spend too much time just kind of bike shedding on stuff. Do you want semicolons at the end or not? I don't really care. Right. I think results is more important than like is your to-do list perfect? I mean, if we could just toss a whiteboard in there, I could do some chicken scratches. That'd be even faster. But that's not going to work. So you're talking about the Vim org package? I tried that out. I actually didn't like it. Um, which one are you talking about? Oh, the Emacs org mode. Yeah, I'm not going to launch. I'm not going to go between these things just for organizing something. I know that it's very good, but and I have nothing against Emacs. I was actually Emacs user for I don't know a while, albeit with either Viper bindings or Evil mode. But really, I don't want to spend the time on it. Mimeograph. I know we're just kind of going in circles here. What are we gonna do here? Added to-do list. Fine. Um, trying to remove a file named tilde and then. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Okay, so how are we going to do the build for these? Basically, what I'm thinking is we have the templates directory, right? We have a login file in there. Oh, wow. Okay. Hmm. Still. So we're going to have templates, right? And we're going to have this sort of, I don't know, I'm just going to call it like main or something like that. Oh, you finished installing Arch for the first time. And then that happened to me. Oh, that's horrible. So we're going to have different pieces of this, and we're basically going to concatenate them into this file. So login, um, what do I not have? Basically going to put together a series of files here. So we're just going to have some really, really simple build system for this. We're going to have like the beginning of this file. We'll probably have like HTML start, HTML end. And we're just going to put together a quick little script. Where can we wire that script in though? In Wrangler? Where's the build? Here. It's like we want to be able to have maybe a little config file. No, we want to keep it simple. Let's just run a shell script. Let's not even wire it in there. Let's make this a manual thing. Build template. Make template. NSH. Okay, we're just going to do some concatenation. Do I know JavaScript? A little bit, yeah. That's what I do for my day job. Then I've been doing web dev for like 20 years, so I have some experience. And do I recommend learning that for a back-end dev? It depends on the job, right? And if you're doing it for a personal project, I don't see why not. It would be fine to use that with like a Node.js kind of setup or Dino. I think it's a very prolific language. There's a lot that you can do with it. I don't know what to call this thing, main.html. It's as good as anything. Concatenating other files together. Okay. You mean JS versus Rust for personal language? What's my words per minute? It's not actually that fast, actually. Um, I switched to Dvorak a decade ago. So so like a here. I know some people are a lot faster than me. What's the one where we can kind of compete against this together? Monkey type? 90 there. Oh, race typer. I mean, that one was kind of easy, right? You didn't have all the extra bits in there. Well, that's a fun one. Actually, I'm going to save that. Yeah, 90 on Dvorak. You switched to Colmac 10 days ago? Sorry, this is also kind of like just a chatting stream. So if you came for code, I'm taking a little break today. um, Here, raise your friends. I'll copy this URL. There we go. All right. This could be you. Join race. Oh, waiting for competitors. Oh, I think I have a login on this. Oh, uh-oh. Oh no. Oh, I'm sitting funny in my chair. My leg went to sleep. Okay. Yeah, good game. Good game. That was fun. Actually, I'm gonna toss that in here too. Okay. So in Bash, can we let's move templates main to templates old.html. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is remove HTML. Then we're just going to go concatenating. Control C and Control V. No, actually. I'm also using this beast. So it's got Dvorak mode built into it. So My computer still thinks I'm using QWERTY. I don't have to worry about that. And I rebind caps lock to control, so I don't really have a caps lock button. But it makes it really easy to hit with my left finger. And then Control C is on the middle finger right hand, and Control V is ring finger. You used Dvorak? Why'd you switch? What'd you say? You went to Colmac. Why Colmac? Oh, interesting. Interesting. You have a lot of the RST, L, and E right there on the home row. That's nice. A, O, E. Where's U? U's up there. That's fair. I. It's a nice layout. Do you find that you alternate between hands more often? Oh, read the FAQ. Huh. Same ending as Dvorak. Colmac was inspired by the Linux naming idea. I can switch back and forth between QWERTY and Dvorak. I have to basically just. It's like when you switch between spoken languages, you kind of relax and just do it. Right? It's gone. Oh, I've never heard of this. Yeah, I used to have issues where my hands would go numb, which is why I switched to this keyboard and to Dvorak. I actually did it at the same time, so I don't know which one helped, but I no longer have issues with it. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to switch again because I'm not experiencing any issues. Well, that's a pretty cool setup there. I like the layout pattern, and I really, 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 yeah, I looked through that, and it's true. A lot of the things in there they talk about, right? Especially for me, I like the finger hand altern alternating between letters when you're typing out a word. So if you can come up with a layout that does that, that's great because that's where you get a lot of speed gains. Building IRs, yeah, yeah. And let's just start and end. I'm gonna do a lot of this. Uh-oh. Gonna need that. Then we'll toss in headstart.html. Okay, so we have basically the head section, body. Oops. Let's get back to coding. Yeah. Try Colmec. I are you having what did you switch just for the efficiency gains? Or did you switch because it was fixing some sort of like for me it was carpal tunnel. Right. Yeah, this looks okay. I don't know what else I want to put in head at the moment. Let's create some of these files. HTML start. Okay, that's our HTML start. This will make sense more after we get it working. Sometimes you want to put stuff right at the beginning, like right here. Wow. And that can happen now. Okay. So then we have head and body. And here we have the login section. Split this up. And I'm going to put the title as part of Head Start. Yes, we called it Head Start. I don't really want... I guess I don't really care for the white space here. I'm okay if it's all flat. Yeah, let's go back to not there, not there. Make templates. Oh, wait, head end. Okay. Now body start. Body end. It's a little verbose at the moment, but it gives us some flexibility later. Okay, now let's toss login in there, cat. Wrong file. Missed it. Okay. Here's login. It's not formatting very well. Hmm. That's so weird. It's like the formatter is fighting me. Oh, interesting. I've not have a problem with these in Dvorak. It's actually in a different spot on my keyboard too. On my keyboard, it moves the curly braces down here. So it's actually a very short reach to get to those. This was a Father's Day gift 10 plus years ago. I've actually polished the keys with my fingers. So well used. Chroma keys is left to right. Oh yeah. Yep. And that makes sense. They put it on what, the right hand? Up like up above? Yeah. Morning LP. How you doing? See, it's doing it again. I don't know what it's doing, but it's making it hard to just simply insert a new line. Like, why did I get two there? I'm just going to quit. Make sure. I mean, maybe it was something else I was doing. No, it did it. That is bizarre. I don't like whatever's happening with that. Just going to deal with it for now. We need some new lines. Input, input, okay. So there's a little login form. All right. Looks fine. We could even toss a div around it. Whenever we're actually going to style it. There, now we have our super simple. I forgot what the file was called. Make template.sh. So this should create our little template for us. And then we need to actually save it. Save it into Cloudflare, that is. So let's try this. Let's see, how did it do? It did all right. Looks good for now. In fact, we're going to make a change already. Oh, head start. We're going to remove this. Wow. So we're going to have to put that in there. Okay. Okay. looks good. It's our little template generation system. Now we'll use Wrangler. Any Discord server? Yes. Yes, there is. So, what we're actually working on is a little project I call Mimeograph. It's built on Cloudflare workers. We are um, so we're working on the template system at the moment. Trying to get this a little bit more automated so we can add a little bit more HTML to the template and how we can do stuff. So we actually need this sort of command, and we need to know what the name is of the main template. Yeah, the Discord's actually fairly thin. Not a whole lot of people in there. I mean, it's definitely over 100, but if you have Rust questions, etc., or you just want a different sort of stream notification, we do that in there too. All right, let's AV key. I need to know the name list binding. Oh, oh, that is weird. Okay. Yeah, we can't upgrade to that version. Oh, interesting. We don't have one yet. Oh, we get to choose it then. So go ahead and use the put. Am I the one making new Rustation podcast? I'm not actually. I know there's a Rustation Station Discord, and sometimes I post announcements in there. Like today I didn't. I just forgot. There. Um, what are we going to call this key? Just main, and then we give it template slash main.html. Success. Oh, lovely. I know. Let's also take an argument. And then we'll check to see if the argument was passed in. If it's not, then we won't push. We're gonna have an environment parameter there. Bash env param. No, just parameter. So just $0. Okay. Let. Oh, how do you do this? Shell scripting. $0 is the name of the program, right? Did we just say our environment equals $1, and then wow, that side is really slow. Oh, that's better. Okay. Now, how do we check to see if it's empty or not? Oh, interesting. Okay. So we can get the number. Huh, that's handy. Just paste that in. Yeah, let's try that out. Interesting. Why wasn't this defined? Echo hello. Oh, it's development. It's right there. Well, great. So we did development. We can say staging and production works. Good. And if we don't do either of any of them, fine. All right. Let's go back into, was it lib? So we're trying to make login work, right? And login's interesting because what we're actually needing to join two things together. Right now we have a login module where we handle posts here, and we handle gets here. But do we need to handle gets here? No, we should use pages for that. So we're actually going to come up with a format and have pages render this out as a template. So we'll create some other sort of config file that we store in KV in a different namespace, and pages should be able to, what do I mean by pages? I didn't define that. This other module where we say, we try to match this glob here, and if that happens, we'll try to get, what is it, a config file from the KV store. And then we want to actually merge that plus the template to produce an HTML page. So let's work on that. For now, I think we're just going to use JSON for it. I don't see why we would use anything else at the moment. And because we don't have any way to actually generate these yet, we're just going to store them as local files and upload them. But eventually, the system, once it's bootstrapped, will be creating these on its own. So we have pages, cd pages, login, not make dir, touch that. I don't know about the music today. I mean, it just went through one of these. Let's see. What else do we have? That might be a little too distracting for me. I don't know. Let's try that for a little bit. All right. Just gonna have some stuff here. Let's say title. Hey, Brooke, how's it going? And thank you for the raid. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Yeah, so what'd you work on today? I'm doing well. Doing well. We're trying to bootstrap Mimeograph. Actually, we might keep this as JSON because there's a JSON parser. That'll keep our WASM size smaller, even though it'll have a little bit more overhead. Right now we're creating the kind of config for a page. This is going to be stored in the key value store. Actually, I want to remove the .html on it. And maybe we should say it's a .json file. So let's do that. Oh, look at that. Now we have formatting. Fancy. Okay. Title. And then what widgets are we going to have on here? It's going to be some sort of array, and we'll have the login widget. Should probably be some sort of config for that. Widgets type login. This is probably going to change. Let's store that. We're going to do something similar. What is it going to be? Upload pages.sh. Now we have to get the Wrangler command for this. How do we do this in bulk? Upload multiple key value pairs to a namespace. We probably don't want to do that. Interesting. I think we're going to loop over the directory here and have those be the keys. We'll upload those. So, or file in ls pages. Is it do here? No, not do. I don't remember. Say page mod upload pages. Oh, 755, 655. Okay. So we have that. Good. It's weird that it had the colon at the end there. Why would it have that colon at the end? Strange. Oh, because of that? Because the colon at the end there? All right, Brooke. Well, thank you for the raid. I hope you had a good progress today. There we go. Got rid of that colon at the end. Just say we're uploading the file. Okay. Make it a little fancy. Pretty good progress. You did real planning last night, so you know what you're doing for once. Oh. You don't just wing it. I'll often just think about like what's next, though I don't do like real hard planning, just because I stream so often. Like this morning, we did some planning. All right, what's our key v for this? I'm actually going to be doing something very similar to the make template. In fact, this time, if it's not set, we have to yell about it. Please provide an environment. Okay. And this is going to be pages. You're a Rust Smart contract developer looking for a job. Oh, interesting. In fact, well, actually, let's talk about that. Did you, because I'm not looking to hire anybody, um, but when have you looked at the, oh, come on. I thought I typed that correctly. There it goes. I mean, there's the job board in here. Have you looked in here? Because you can post that you're available for work. Let's see. I forget where it is, but for every release, they also toss up a little job post, right? Who's looking to hire? Who's looking to get hired? And that's in here somewhere, but it's every 6 weeks, so I don't know where that is. Mega threads. Ah, here we go. Who's hiring? So for stuff like that, definitely post it over here, man. Oh, you're looking for a developer. I'm sorry, I didn't read that soon enough. Um, but also that's a great place to actually post, right? Because inside of here, rules for employers. You might be able to post something on behalf of who you're recruiting for. So, yeah. All right. Okay. So now we need a key here. We could use the file name. I think that would be fine because it's going to have JSON in it. That'll work for now. And that'll keep this simple. Simply just upload one for each one of these. Do we have to include a little bit more for the key? I think we do. I think we need like a slash in there. Oops. Some curly braces. Because for now, I think we're just going to do some top level stuff. But once we get this bootstrapped, we should be able to have multiple slashes in there. Okay. Okay. Let's try this. Upload pages. Um, Actually, we need to clear out what's currently there. Rooster buckets, workers, manage workers. I want to go to the KV store at the top. Oh, that looks so much better. They made this wider. That's nice. All right, so we're going to go into here. We don't want to delete it. Yeah, we had this static image we were testing with that. The statics are getting moved, so we need to delete that. Delete that. Great. So now, upload pages, pass an environment, say development, success, reload. Oh, perfect. Okay. It even looks like JSON. Lovely. Okay. So that's done. Now, let's do a Wrangler dev on this. Oops, next term over. Ooh, it built. Yay. Page not found. That's fine. Login. Oh, it's matching the route. And here, if we do login JSON, it says this is a test. And that's interesting. Is that what we're actually returning here in pages? Yes. So we did get the key. We loaded up the logins.json file. We should probably rename that. So if it ends in .html or something, or actually, no, let's append. So we're gonna fix it for /login. First thing we have to do, let's remove the other route. So in our router here at the bottom, this login get, I'm gonna remove the get part. So here we still only handle the login post, but pages, which should be the first element, we have statics followed by pages. And these don't really matter at the moment, so let's comment those out. Statics should be working. Let's just make sure on that. No, we'll do that later. So we'll have pages here and followed by login. Pages should be able to get the request because it's using this big glob, right? Like I'm going to look for everything it's saying. So it tries to get the key from the KV store. If it doesn't find it, then it just returns the request back and something else can try to match. Okay. So we get the request path. This is a cow. We need to fetch from pages a specific path, but we need to toss a, let's say, a .json on the end of that path. Actually, what is these? All right, let's open up the docs on this too. There we go. No, rust up doc. All right, string. You can push onto it. So we need to call to-owned and then push. Oh, that's for a single char though. Insert. It's for a character. Push stir. There we go. And what about stir? Can you do this to stir and get a string back? So let's say we have stir. Split. I don't see anything there. Let's see. Yeah, no append on there. Okay. So we'll use push. All right. So look for the pages config file. It is the path. No method named Azra found for that. That's fine. It's a string now. And fetch wants stir probably. All right. This is interesting. If we ask for a string, that's fine. There was another option in this that we didn't implement. If we go to KV, there was one called JSON that we did not build in. Because yeah, when we're passing in this kind here, we could pass in JSON, and then it's supposed to return a JSON, like a pre-parsed JSON object. So we don't even have to worry about that. All right. Learning APIs, KV. Oh, that's for the metadata. But yeah, if we pass in, for convenience, a JSON type is also specified, which will convert the JSON value into an object before returning it to you. For large values, you can request a readable stream. For binary values, an array buffer. All right. So we're going to be passing in this JSON type because we want that parsed JSON object back. So we have to be able to pass in this get kind. But in our KV, we didn't implement that because I didn't know what type to return for that. I mean, it says it returns a JSON object. I mean, it's not a map. An object decoded from a JSON string. That's not the best thing to work with in here. Okay, so let's ask for object. Was it JSON like that? No, it was JSON. Okay. So now we can get the JSON kind. It'll parse it. Let's go back to login. So we say we want this kind back, and it'll do it. Oh shoot, pushster does that. That needs to be mutable. There. You know, the other thing we could do here is instead of taking it into owned, just call format. There. No, it's not mutable. How's my day going? Day's going all right. Let's got a little planning set up. Oh, that's silly. We do not need that. Okay, now we get this object back. And if it's none, it's not handled. So, I don't know, config, page options. Let's call it a config. So if it doesn't exist, return the request. The JS object. What can we do with the JS object? We can get the entries from it. And the values. Oh, you made your first earning as a programmer. Guess how? Oh, I don't know how. How? Oh, you sold your laptop. That's funny. Oh. Define properties. Define property entries. Get property descriptor. So we can check to see if it has a property. But how do we get the value of a property? Oh, proxy, right? No, 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 it's not that. Is it just this reflect? I think we use this, although I haven't used it before. Let's explore a little bit. So it's just a module? Module reflect. That seems like a weird module name, doesn't it? Module names are normally lowercase. Construct. Construct with new target. Get F64. What's get return? Result JS value. That's nice. Okay, we can do that. But what does it return? The value of the property or an exception if target is not an object. Okay. Okay, so let's say we wanted to get the page title or maybe we have a stronger type for this. I'm going to try to use the JavaScript types as much as I can because using like the Rust hash map will add like 5k to the WASM size. Okay. So we could create a wrapper type on this. So what if we did that? Page config.rs pub struct page config and oh, huh, that's so funny. Oh, it's not in the right place. There we go. Okay. So then we have our page config object, and we could use that doesn't need to be public. Let's create a new for this. That's a JS object. Oh, look at all these options. They've been adding more and more to this. Okay. So there's our page config object. And let's combine these up to match that. Okay. Now we could have something like a title, right? Or more interesting. Basically, we're going to hide the looseness of the JavaScript object here. Oh, function title. Map error. All right, now we need some way to actually return the title, etc. And to do this, I'm going to delete this. We need to come up with, where were we doing that? What is in login? Oh yes, yes. Basically needs something like this. We'll look at this in just a moment. Actually, I'm going to toss that down there. That and that. So we have to get the template, which is a readable stream. And that's coming from the key value store. It's coming from the template section. And in this case, we need to pass it which template we want, which is /main. What did we call it? Main.html? Let's see, login needs to go away. Home goes away. It's an old one. What's an HTML minifier? Really? Sorry, I was on mute. Just a minute, I'll be right back. All right. And we're back. Okay. All right. I'm getting sidetracked. Okay. So we're actually looking for main. And it's not anything else. It's just main. Hey, Xenocron. Good morning. How are you? Import some of these. Then we'll get to it. Morning, JB. I'm going to move this out here. This is going over there. We also need to pass in a page config. Listen to page config. Give it a new. Okay. Why can't it find this? What's not public? That's fine. Fine. Okay. So we have our template handler. Not going to be signing that. Okay. So what do we have here? Got a path. We look up here. Why do we have this here? Let's get some of the fundamentals collected first. Okay. So we have path. We look up the... Oh, but what kind of path is it? We have multiple paths now. Config path. Main template. Set up the template handler. We don't do anything with these, right? Okay, those go away. Import that. Import this. What else? Yes, no page. That's okay. This, what should that be? Oh, that's a page template. Because we need to give it the HTML, and then the template handler will do all the transforms on the HTML. All right, then we have an HTML rewriter. We have to basically craft a response. That response then gets rewritten. So for everything, though, I mean, maybe we should be a little bit more specific for this. Um, it almost feels like this whole thing should be the template handler. Let's go back here. Let's have a pub function transform. And we're going to take a response. And we return a response. Okay. And what we end up doing within there is this. Although the ownership of the HTML rewriter needs to be passed on, doesn't it? So maybe what we're doing is configuring this HTML rewriter All right. So given the HTML rewriter, what's the what is this going to look like? We'll say template handler colon colon. I mean, transform would be great. Template handler, well, new. We could give that the response. We could say transform like so. How do we want to use it? Doing it this way, then at least the temporary gets held onto by the template handler. That's not entirely going to work, is it? We have to return some sort of response, right? We'll call response that into. So what is the response type here? It's a page config? That doesn't seem right. No, it's just confused. Transform should return a response. Oh, but this is putting it inside of something. I forget what. Oh, our return type, our route handler. It's our route handler into. Okay, it's a router result handled. That's really what's going on there. Okay. I don't think we can do this. I mean, how does this really work? We're returning a future, okay, and we wire up a whole bunch of things that then return futures. So a CF element handler, when you give it one of these, each one of these returns a promise. So does it? It actually grabs those promises ahead of time as soon as that's built. I wonder if it could be basically an option to a promise, like a promise or well, let's say null or undefined. Okay. So it might actually work then. Because if it's just all futures or promises, we're just constructing the state machine. I don't know why, but I think having the local like that. What if we did it like this? We could rename this to like template rewriter or a rewriter and then template. Naming things is hard. All right. But I think we're getting rid of this piece here. This will be owned by the template handler. There we go. Now this is hidden inside this object. And these configs, these options here aren't going to be polluted, aren't going to propagate into the rest of the code. We can change them without having to affect the rest of our code base, which would be really nice. Let's get rid of the transform there. And later, when somebody calls pub function, oh, that needs a pub on it. Transform. We call it like... Oh, it's not a result. This is a response. Now we can start to break these down into more targeted pieces. So we could have like the title handler. We could have different things like that. The naming is messed up here. I don't think we should have this template handler. I think this... Maybe source templates or a source... I don't know, widget handler, thinking a little bit further ahead. What if this was in the template module? And we have a rewriter. We'd have to give it the config. Page config. That's okay. I could get behind that. Okay, let's... It's not the best, but it'll work. Template. Mod.rs. Okay. Now let's pull in these elements. Some of these. We do not have that. We will have this, though. It's our template handler. Okay. Now this is going to have submodules. Okay. CF, import that. What else? Okay. So we're going to have this hideous sort of setup here. And I don't know if we actually need to preserve the page config. I think we're basically going to take little pieces out of the page config and pass it into each individual element handler. So, for example, let's say we wanted to set up the title. Something simple, right? Explore, mod. Let's keep it simple here, just title.rs. Okay. Oh, the struct title. The title here is just going to have one thing on it, right? Title name. It's probably a string or a JS string or something like that. Okay. And now go back to here. Let's grab that. Okay. But maybe we should have done the document handler. I don't remember. Oh, let's go look. So over here, Cloudflare, HTML rewriter. They have a document handler. Does the document handler... Let's see. A document handler represents the incoming HTML document. A number of functions can be defined on the document handler to query and manipulate a document's doc type, comments, text, and end. All right, let's try to do this without the document handler. So let's say here we want to have a title. So this is going to be very similar to, let's say, any HTML page, where now we have to get some sort of matcher here. This looks like a CSS selector. So do we just say title? Because that's the kind. It's a node name. Oh, that's title. We have a CF element handler. And let title equals I don't like this title colon title bit. Yeah, there's our template handler. And in this case, we could, sorry, let's go back to title. Let's give this some imports. Okay. So we're going to replace the text with self.name. What? It has to have a static. No. Because it's a future. Interesting. Let name is equal to self.name.clone. We do that without that? What if we went back a little bit? See, I don't think we can because of the static lifetime for this. No, it's not going to work. Okay. So that should work, and we'll replace whatever the text is with whatever we get out of the config, which currently we have wired up to just say Halsey was here. However, we could say that this is page config.title. Oh, yes. Basically, the return type's an issue because we can't toss a try out of there. Or we could. That seems a little weird. Maybe this is more of a try from. Okay. So instead of the new, we do that. My expression alternatives have incompatible types. Expected struct string found stir. What is that return? Oh. Yeah, it's a JS value. Okay. So we get that. I actually have to save it to a local and convert it to a string. Because reflect.get returns a JS value here. Well, that wants a JS value. Yeah, we can deref that like so. That should fix the self.obj. Or it's not, we can borrow it, pass it in. That goes through the asref trait, and they're actually using asref to be able to kind of cast it to some of its base types, because Rust doesn't have inheritance. So you can use things like asref to be able to take it to one of the other types. In the Godot engine, they actually use dref for that, but here in JSys, they're using asref for that. All right, and this needs to be a JS value. Okay. If title.is string, return title dot, because it's a JS value, unchecked into, I guess we could actually do it the other way. We could say title dot dine into. This will give us the error. Oh, but we want to be able to take it to a Rust string or not? Because here we're returning that. Is that more accurate? Can we dot map error? Okay. So that should get us the title. And if it's not a title, we should get, or if it's not a string, we should get some other sort of error. So we get the title here. Sure, that can be a JS string. Same there. It's not like we are doing anything with it. We just want the pointer. Okay, that might rewrite the title. Did we miss anything? I want to see if we'd actually return something else here. Because in this case, while we're supposed to return a promise, we might be able to return undefined and just have it short circuit this. Hey, Brypar7, thank you for the follow. Okay, there and there. And at this point, we're actually getting, what is text here? Text is a CF text. And CF text has replace. This we got from the docs, and we might have done this incorrectly. I think we actually have two options. Text chunks. Removes the element and inserts content in place of it. How do I replace its text? Oh, okay, that's fine. Well, let's replace the content there with a JS string. Let's say that's a JS string, and oops, these are JS strings. Oh, ooh, I butchered that. Trying to multi-vim that. It says empty diagnostics, but we have a little red on the screen. Gonna restart COC. Okay, so back to the title. Now replacing that. The string didn't actually come in to become a Rust string. It's fine. A little less overhead. Unresolved import. Yes, that goes away. Wow, lots of unused now. Moved a bunch of stuff out. Aisha Codes, welcome. Welcome, and thank you for the follow. Happy Tuesday. Coming in here at the end of my stream, though. It's good to have you. Normally I can go a little longer, but I have some early meetings today. So, do we have any other errors? Okay, template handler, can't find it. Import that. What else? Keeler84, thank you for the follow. Oh, do we not have a new function on that? Oh, that's right. It was a try from. Try from page config. Then we can use a try operator on that. We have to import the trait there. So that's done. Oh, that looks so pretty. Did we get rid of template handler? No. It's still called template handler. Let's move these down. So we're in Cloudflare here, right? And we're trying to respond to a request. That request, we need two things. We need to get the template, the HTML template, out of the key value store. And we have to get the config for the page out of the key value store. We're trying to combine the two inside of our template handler. And what that does is it really just, it's using this HTML rewriter from Cloudflare. So we're trying to rely on as much as we can from Cloudflare for this, but still use Rust. Now, the HTML rewriter, we should be able to have it target very specific elements in what we're trying to send out. So we're trying to target the HTML title element, and we are wrapping our little title rewriter function, this struct, into the CF element handler, and magic's going to happen. So let's see if we can get there. Oh, is this? This should be a JS string, which is what that is. JS strings should clone fairly cheap. Okay. Let's get rid of some warnings. What else? Load of warnings right now. Gonna ignore the ones in login. Lib. Okay, yeah, we can clean those out. What else? KV. Those are fine. Did those. Hash we're not using. Not at the moment. Okay, well, here we go. Let's start the Wrangler development environment, see if it'll fire up. We'll go to /login because that's where our key is. We have two elements. So inside of the workers here, we've got our template. Inside of the templates namespace here, it's called main. It's our main template. And then we also have in the development pages a config. We're trying to get the title out of that. Then hopefully we can rewrite the output and put this Mimeograph login into the title. So right now our title is kind of garbage. It just doesn't exist in most cases. Here we have page not found. You can see there was a request made here. Go to login. That's not right, actually. Because that should not have worked. Okay, what am I seeing here? The title did not get replaced, and the page itself should have been empty. Oh, unless this is the actual template. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh my. This actually might be the template it's dropping out on us. It looks like it. So if that's the template, then this is kind of working, but our title didn't get rewritten. So if we inspect the page, inspector, right in the head, a lot of that stuff's just extra, but does it not have a head? And dark reader is changing things for us. Let's reload. It's empty. Is it actually empty? Hold on, let's view the page source again. It is actually empty, which is true from our template. Our template's title is empty. We're trying to replace that. Okay. So let's go back into template mod. This HTML rewriter, these selectors here are supposed to allow us to pinpoint which handler we want to process which element. So let's look at the docs on that one more time. Selectors. I thought we could select title. Right, E. Any element of type E should be title. And we chose title here. Does it need to be uppercase? What are they doing in their example? Div user info. Yeah, they're using that, but we might need to use a document handler. That doesn't seem right though. Hmm. Let's ask the Oracle. On H1. I mean, maybe I have to have content in there because there is no text element in there. Let's go back to our template. Head start. I'm just going to put something, I don't know. If it does happen to get into production or doesn't get replaced, we don't want it being offensive or anything. So title, it's just going to be page title. All right. So then let's make, was it, make template. We'll update the development one. Okay. That should have updated the key value store. Let's reload. Ah, now it's Mimeograph login, Mimeograph login. It actually happened twice in there. Why would that happen twice? Okay. So it replaced page title. And we replaced the text with that. Interesting. Okay. Well, I gotta run. We're gonna raid. Toggle bit. We hardly get a raid toggle. Let's raid toggle bit. Well, thank you all for hanging out. We're making progress on this bit by bit. So, and we actually got those two systems, the key value store template and the config kind of coming together, getting rewritten. So that's all good. We can improve on that. So, till next time, y'all. Bye-bye.